Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about the cards that I feel really need to get nerfed anytime soon now. The meta has been pretty stable, and I do believe we are due to some changes really soon, and in this video I'm gonna give you 5 or 6, I don't remember how many I have on this list, but yeah, I'm gonna give you 5 or more cards that I think should be getting nerfed really soon. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and do let me know in the comments which cards you think should be on the list. Now let's get into it.
You are not prepared!
Starting off with the obvious elephant in the room, I don't think there's a single person here that thinks Elise should remain the same. I do believe she has been way too strong for way too long, and she's gonna keep on being way too strong if something isn't done to her. Yes, she does have quite the requirement to actually get activated, but as you guys see, it's actually not that hard in reality. And what would make her a little bit clunkier would be if we just make her into at least a 5 mana card, and trust me, it's still gonna get played left and right. I don't believe that is gonna be enough to actually tone down the card enough, but it is gonna be a step in the right direction, and I would not put it beyond blizz to actually put her to 6 mana at some point later as well, and I still believe she's gonna get a ton of play. She's just way too versatile, way too good, way too strong, and you could be using her in all sorts of different ways, including get yourself a copy of a minion, or get yourself reliable removal super early, get yourself tons of armor, discover yourself extra spells, and so on and so forth. And yes, even though some of the discovers can be a lot weaker than the others, you're still always probably gonna get a decent option. As you guys can see, she is literally being used in every single archetype there is right now. Like, look at this. We have shamans, warriors, death knights, hunters, paladins, mage, demon hunter, druid, rogue, and that literally leaves us with a couple of classes that are actually not using her in the top spots at least, but here we have it, Zarimi Priest. And what is the class I didn't mention here? Like, we literally mentioned 10 out of the 11 classes in Hearthstone right now, didn't we? Yeah, Warlock, but how can we mention Warlock when the class doesn't exist right now? But trust me, if Warlock was good, he would also be very high on the naughty list here. I don't think bumping her up to 5 mana is gonna be that big a deal, and I do believe it should be making the game feel a little bit healthier, because at least you're not gonna be able to just play her on 4 and curve into a 5-drop amazing location right after that. The next card on the list is another fan favorite for so many freaking classes right now, and it's none other than Creature of Madness. This card is just way too good at what it does, and basically playing this on 2 guarantees you're gonna have an amazing turn-free play, and a lot of the times those turn-free plays can literally decide games. Like, if you find yourself something like a Mukla with +4/+5, that's literally a turn-free 9/6, is it? Kinda insane. But how can you really change this card? That's the real question. Maybe give it some kind of requirement? Like, the obvious change here would be to bump it down to at least a 1/1, and even though that doesn't change anything, it's still gonna get played at left and right, so it having 2 health is just gravy for a card like this. But that alone I don't believe would be enough. Maybe give it some kind of requirement, like, I don't know. But what kind of requirement would that really be? I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, but this card is definitely way too strong as is, and I would not be sad if it gets toned down a little. Moving now to things like mid-range Shaman with Bumbling Bellhop, and I think this is one of the main reasons why Shaman is this good right now, guys. Like, Elise plus Bumbling Bellhop both do make for a very OP Shaman, even though we have seen that there are faster mid-range Shamans without Elise included. So Elise is not the only issue there, but Bumbling Bellhop is always a part of that deck. The defense this guy provides super early is definitely great, but also having this much attack, I do believe this should be getting dropped down to 2 attack, and it's still gonna feel great because you're still gonna be able to pull it off from things like bird watching as well as Flight of the Firehawk, so it's still not gonna be with low stats, and you still get to double it up, which is kinda insane. But yeah, mid-range Shaman definitely needs some kinda way to get toned down, and I think this would be one of the obvious things to get toned down. Currently, it's literally the only deck this guy is seeing competitive play in. Back in the day, we used to use him in things like Hand Buff Hunter, but that got killed. But yeah, right now, look at this nonsense. Literally nothing but Shamans. Wow, a Priest? Well, not really. Moving down lower. Yeah, I'm getting freaking sleepy seeing all of these Shamans, man. Like, it's like counting sheep. So yeah, I would not be surprised if this thing goes down to a 2 attack. I think that would be a healthy tone down, and even though it's only a single stat, technically it's a double stat, because getting a copy of this basically is -2 attack in general. And another absolutely obvious card that really is getting way too much play lately would be Blob of Tar. This card is literally getting included in almost every single class, just like Elise's, and it's even getting included in things like aggressive decks like Elemental Shamans. It's amazing in Ravenous Cliff Demon Hunter. It's amazing for Druids for sure, heck for Death Knights, for Warriors even, but all around it just really does provide a little bit too much for way too little. And a very disgusting nerf to this card would be to actually bump it up to 5 mana. That is gonna make Ravenous Demon Hunter very, very sad, that's for sure, because this is their main go-to taunt they want to be getting off from their Ravenous, and not being able to get this sticky man out of the Ravenous would hurt that deck tremendously, because you would no longer be able to actually pull off good Caliphros. You would no longer have a good target for Ravenous Felhunter, as well as for the return policy, so that might be a little bit too harsh, but this card really does need something. If it's not a mana bump to 5, I would definitely like it to be a 2-free with a couple of 1/1s, let's say, something like that. I don't know. It's still going to be getting a decent amount of play, because you're still going to get a couple of poisons out of it, but at least it's going to be a little bit easier for a lot of opponents to handle it. And the last specific card I have on my top 5 list would be the Colossus. The Colossus is a very, very disgusting card to be playing against right now, and even though the deck is actually not super top tier, we can see the bigger sample sizes are actually in the vicinity of 55-ish% win rate, even though we can see plenty of different iterations with around 57, 58. So the deck is definitely very strong if you know how to play it, but for the masses, a lot of the time they do botch it a little. How can you really change a card like this? However, I don't know, like personally I would consider maybe bumping it down to just deal 2 damage to all enemies, not twice, and also improved by Proto Spells by 2. So it can still gain a decent amount of damage, but dealing the damage twice is a little bit too much, because this way you get to handle all sorts of death rattles, you get to poke through Divine Shields. It is just a little bit too good, and not only is it a great OTK card, but it also is a great control card, basically guaranteeing that you cannot stick anything on the board because of it. Realistically speaking, the deck is still gonna remain pretty disgusting to play against, so I don't know, how do you even nerf this deck, guys? Like, technically speaking, Elise also, if she gets nerfed, comboed off with Colossus as well, that would be great, but maybe also something like Sleet Skater needs to really get toned down. Freeze an enemy minion, gain armor equal to its attack, capped at like 8, something like that. But to be fair, for most opponents that is still gonna be disgusting, so maybe cap it out at 5 or something. Like, the card is just way too good, like giving you all that tons of armor, as well as also freezing you over and over again, getting to bounce it. Definitely feel like Sleet Skater needs to also get toned down, because this is the really big issue for this deck if you ask me. But again, do let me know in the comments if you guys agree about that. And the last thing I want to mention for this video would be something for Hunter also probably needs to get toned down, because in Top Legend this deck is a menace. Like, in really Top Legend, people are doing obscene things with this thing, and it's kind of hard to say what card really makes the deck tick. I'm definitely not a big fan of Ranger General Sylvanas dealing 6 damage at the end in increments by 2, but I also am pretty sure they're not going to be nerfing her anytime soon, so I think we should be looking in other directions where Discover Hunter could get toned down. Something like Rangari Scout maybe becoming a 2-mana 1/3, or Neri becoming a 4-drop, or heck, even Grifta giving you only up to 5 damage instead of 6, because having 24 damage from hand definitely ain't no joke. But yeah, guys, do let me know in the comments if you guys agree with the things I said in this video. Do let me know if you guys think some other cards really need to get nerfed, and how they should be getting nerfed. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and a subscribe would be awesome, and do let me know if you want me to keep on doing a little bit more different videos instead of just deck guides and top 5s, and I might start doing so. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.